Hey guys, it's Uncle Doug. I'm at the new ministry house, one of the new ministry houses in Excelsior Springs, Missouri, just about 15 miles from Liberty. This is my third or fourth shot at this video. I want to try and get it done in one shot so I can upload it straight to YouTube without an intro and an outro because I don't have time for the editing, and I want to get it out to you as soon as possible. Anyway, I'm hoping that I got it on airplane mode, I got enough battery, I got enough memory. Hopefully we do this. Anyway, I want to publicly thank you all that have been helping, and some people in particular, and I want to thank the Lord for a big breakthrough, a big answer to prayer, and an announcement that is probably a year old, but I think for some wisdom's sake needed to be delayed before telling you. It's not like we just have supporters and people that love us watching the videos. We have people that hate us and that are intent on trying to disrupt whatever we're trying to do. So we have to use wisdom about what we share with you and what we don't, and the timing of all of that stuff. But I think this is the time to tell you a great big praise report. Back in May of 2015, the Lord said it's time to get a farm. And we had just had a fire in one of the townhouses. The Lord said your timeshare is almost up, and that it was time for a farm. So I went looking for some property where we might be able to move everybody. There was a 100-acre lot in Liberty that happened to be a place where the Mormons had camped on their way back to Independence to defend the Mormons there that had everything taken away from them. It was called Zion's Camp, and it was actually like that particular property. Okay, well, I'm not all Mormon-y, but that's got some history, and that's kind of interesting, and it's named Zion's Camp. That's kind of cool, but they wanted $660,000, and they weren't going to own or finance it, and the city wasn't going to play nice. It was inside city limits, and every door shut on that. There was a few buildings on the property, but nothing really usable unless you're going to live in a silo, which we contemplated. And but a lot of cropland in the creek, and hillside with whatever possibilities. But every door closed. So the Lord sent me looking, and I knew there was this property near Excelsior Springs. It was in the county, but it wasn't inside Liberty, and I kind of felt like we needed to stay in Liberty. And then I got a word that Liberty must go forth, and that it was time to go outside Liberty because they had shown us no hospitality, never supported the ministry. Everything that we accomplished was working against somebody. There was financially, we got one little congregation out of 77 in Liberty that would collect a little Ziploc bag of coins when we brought them bread on Sunday at a little Church of God in Christ, sweet Humphrey Temple, sweet people, and then take up a little offering for the bread ministry, and let me preach there once, and loved us, and very welcoming and sweet. And it might have been $5, might have been $10 a week. And that was probably 10% of their total take. I mean, they'd get $90, we'd get 10, or something. And we did that for years until they started getting a lot of their own food and maybe didn't need us as much anymore. Anyway, that's it. That's the sum total support and even encouragement from 77 congregations in town. A couple of pastors that don't hate me, that are pleasant with me, but they're not going to do anything to help. And they're not going to participate in the giveaway or whatever. So, so in a lot of ways, good riddance. It's time to try something else. And the Lord said go. So I felt permission to go look at this farm that had a cave under it, and the owner was willing to owner finance it, and we worked out a great deal. I put one video online, $50,000 came, Some was loan, some was gift, and we got in the property very end of May, beginning of June, 2015, with a 5-year an agreement to a lease contract for 5 years, and then a balloon payment at the end. And we're 3 years now through, 3 years and change through that. Hoping to hear back from the bank, another bank we're talking to about refinancing it. But if you know a mortgage broker that does commercial property, give me my number or contact me, and let's see if we can't work something out, because we're getting down to the wire, needing to refinance this or risk losing the farm. Anyway, it would probably cut our payments in half, and it would help a lot as far as manageability and everything. Anyway, the goal was to move everybody that had been in the townhouses out to the farm, or not everybody, but the core group that was the ones that were here for ministry, to be a part of the ministry, and to place all of the kind of homeless folks that needed a place, to get them in their own apartments or VA housing or whatever. So we got the farm in 15, and they said, yeah, you can have a church, but you can't live there. And we started finagling and this and that, and tried to rezone, all kinds of different stuff. Got shot down. Neighbors, folks that said they were Christian, really not acting like Jesus, didn't want us around, still don't want us around, don't particularly say why or what they think is going to happen, they just don't want us around. And Jesus said that was to be expected, so that's fine. Anyway, so now we're stuck. We got a farm we've invested a whole bunch into, that God has said, this is it. It's supposed to be a retreat center. People are supposed to be able to come and learn to hear God better. We're supposed to have church out there. We've got emergency equipment and stuff, stored in the cave. It's got a 20-acre cave under the 67-acre farm. And got it for a good deal. Now we got a lot of equity in it. We've been paying a principal, not just rent. So to walk away from it's, $100,000 gone or something. So that we can learn how to raise some animals. It's not. I don't think that's what God wants. And we got permission to be a retreat center. We got to enlarge the septic system to do that. And so for 2 years, we're back and forth from Liberty, fighting, trying to be able to get permission to live on the land. Then the homeowners association at the townhouses in Liberty where we were changed the bylaws of the homeowner association specifically to target us, to get us out of there. Two of the main landlords decided we were the whole problem with the neighborhood, not accounting for how many people we'd brought to rent there that were stable and calm and whatever. How we'd worked with the police to get drug dealers out of there. It was a rough place when we got there, and now it's real sweet. And but even as we've begun to leave, it started to change back, and I'm concerned about what it'll become with the presence of the Lord that's been there gone. Anyway, so back in the fall, November, they changed the bylaws specifically so you can't do anything but be a single-family home. You can't have church there. You can't have an Amway business. You can't have Bible study. And no more than 4 people over 18 can be in a building. And we used to have a lot more freedom than that. Now, I think it violates the Fair Housing Act. I think it's probably illegal. And it's definitely something people are going to have to answer to the Lord for. And a lot of the landlords voted against it, I guess, but at least some of them. But it passed, and then they threatened to sue our landlords in the homeowners association if they didn't enforce it. And so I wrote them a letter, and I said, look, we're leaving anyway. Why don't you guys just lay off and not go to court, and I won't countersue, and we won't call the Fair Housing Act people and make a big stink about all this. Just lay off. And so they kind of did, with the expectation would be out by March. But they didn't really agree to it until like February, and even then it was kind of verbal. And so by then we were into May, and now here we are, August, finally out of the last of the townhouses, almost. So, so here's what God did. The county wouldn't let us live on the farm. The neighbors did everything they could to block it. If they hadn't have been so vociferous about it, probably wouldn't have riled up everybody and put their shackles up and dug their heels in and made it so hard. But they did. So the Lord always has a backup plan. The farm is about 1.5 miles from the Walmart in Excelsior Springs, Missouri, about 2 properties outside of city limits. Between the farm and the Walmart, there's a little mobile home park that the city doesn't like and doesn't want there, and would like to have sold so little McMansions could go in there and bring in a lot more property tax. So they've been hassling them about getting rid of some of the old trailers and cleaning up their act because it was kind of rough. So the guy in charge had been demolishing some of the trailers and hauling some of them off, but some of them were not so bad, but needed a lot of work and needed to be occupied. Some hadn't been occupied in 5 or 10 years. And so we went to him and said, "Hey, do you want to donate any of these?" And he said, "Sure." So he had a couple right away. He said, "If you haul it off, you can have it." And so we hauled one up to the farm, just 4 blocks down the road. And you can't live in a mobile home outside of a mobile home park in this county, but you can use it for a kitchen or a chicken coop or a barn or a wood shop or whatever. So we needed some space outside of the cave where we could, have tools not get rusty and other stuff that happens with the moisture, humidity inside the cave. The cave, by the way, is a man-made limestone mine where they mined all the gravel for roads mostly, and then leave columns every 30 feet or so holding the roof up, and you can drive trucks in, and it's dry in the back, it's moist in the front because like a Pepsi can, the hot air hits the cold cave and it drips, condenses on and stuff like that. But in the back, it's more dry. Anyway, so we've had the cave, but we haven't really been able to do what we want to do out there. They wouldn't let us connect to the sewer line. We have to enlarge the septic system. They're not going to let us live residentially out there without a whole nother, rezone and fight and who knows what. We went to court over it, but they said that we weren't ripe, which is a legal phrase, meaning you haven't been hurt enough to go to court yet. You have to try some other stuff to find an accommodation before you sue, whatever. Anyway, so this little mobile home park we went to and said, "Hey, you want to donate him?" He said, "Sure." So one we demolished and have use where we could out of it, have the trailer itself at the farm to use for like a stage in the back if we're going to have a concert or something. And then the roof we cut into chunks and we'll use that for gazebos or whatever because it's still good and has good shingles and whatever. Anyway, then some of the other ones, we worked out a deal in 2016. We had a deal where he was going to give us 5 of them, and we were going to rehab them and put people in them. And then, sorry, I spit there. The whole deal went kerflooey. The city got weird with him about something, and he thought it had to do with us, but it didn't. But Satan got all up in it, and the whole thing died. So, meantime, we're back in Liberty, knowing our time there is short, trying to offload people, get them in their own place, get them on their feet wherever possible. Thinning down from 3 townhouses to 2, from 4 to 3. And then, a year later, the deal with the mobile home park comes back around. I think just in time. So the deal comes back around with mobile home park. Yeah, okay, you can have 5 of them. And when you do the math with the population we have in Liberty, get him in VA housing, get him his own apartment, get whatever, what's left, that'll fit. Easy. But people keep coming. And so we start rehabbing those. We get some families moved over here. James meeting his family, and Carrie, and the girls' trailer, and a trailer full of guys, the Harrises, whatever, and Rusty, everybody that needs to be near the farm too. Then a sister comes for a conference, is excited about what we're doing, sells an apartment in New York, and commits to buying 5 more trailers plus $1,000 each to help remodel them, plus a little extra. It was very generous, very sweet, and that was before God and I helped get her a husband. And the next time she came to a conference, she met a beautiful, sweet brother that was here. We knew, everybody knew, this is love at first sight, whatever. And sure enough, shortly after, they're married and they're living happily ever after. And God bless them. You know who you are. Anyway, so we end up with 10 trailers, plus 11 if you count the one in the mead zone on their own. So we're working our way through, remodel them, getting them ready for the people that want to come, that have already, this one's waiting for Rhonda, who, whatever. Anyway, other folks that I know are coming. Today we picked up a gentleman's sweet brother Dominic and his 2 little kids. I think they're 8 and 9, or 9 and 10, 8 and 9, I think. Anyway, they were going to be out on the street. They were in Tennessee. Sent me an email, phone call, referred to us, and he's got his own YouTube website, Prayer Ministry and Deliverance Ministry. You'll get to meet him on another video. And the Lord's like, yeah, do not turn him away. So, okay, fine. We say no to people 2-3 times a day. I mean, we don't. We get calls still for a lot of hard cases and addicts and other stuff, and we can't. That's not what this is right now. But we have access to other places we can send them, and we can kind of case manage them and help them find a place. And we want to have Excelsior Springs. There's a lot of properties that can be purchased inexpensively, and we'd like to have somebody that was committed to being a house manager, dorm mom, or whatever you want to call it, house sheriff, where we could have rooms for 8 or 10 or 20 or 100 or 1,000 hard cases, and somebody that would really be there with them and help them get through and get better. But that's not what the farm is, or can be at the moment, and that's not what the mobile homes are right now. But it is housing for the core of the ministry, where we can still kind of be in community. It's a real sweet little heavily wooded 1950s trailer park, and the last ones to get out of Liberty were Cindy and I. Captain goes down with the ship and all that. We couldn't imagine us moving first when we're the ones usually driving everybody around and back and forth. So because of the wind up with the county, we've been 2.5 years now driving back and forth from Liberty to the farm, about 15 minutes. And this puts us about 4 blocks, easy walking distance to the farm. It's close enough even that Ari, our sweet little Australian Shepherd that I need to introduce you to, has figured out the route, and if she gets bored at the farm, just comes down here to see who she can play with, which is not good, but we're working on it. Anyway, so yesterday, Cindy and I's trailer was finally finished. Lots of delays. Satan really trying to get up in it. Couldn't get the electric on for a month. Trying. That guy's not available. It rained. This guy, we're waiting on a part. Just on and on, having to pray it through over and over and over. Anyway, finally got the electric on. Got the codes inspector out here. He provisionally approved it for occupancy pending. We got a couple outlets that are wired wrong, and the switches at the front door don't turn the lights on they're supposed to, and some other stuff we got to straighten out. But otherwise, we did a great job. John, the manager of the park, it got quotes to fix the electric and to redo this mobile home so high that it was just not worth it to them. But the walls are good, there's new roof, floor solid, there's a lot of good stuff, but they didn't want to bother with it. The lady that had been here, I guess, was a drug dealer, and the word got around that she had hidden stuff in the walls, and so people had come through and punched holes in stuff and cut wires and all kinds of stuff. It was a mess. Anyway, so this is the third, fourth, fifth one we've done, and we're getting pretty good at it. It took a while because people got other jobs, or there's only so much of me to go around to supervise or whatever, but we got the trailer for nothing, and we put about, I think, $2,000 in materials in it, and lots of volunteer labor, and John, the park manager, the other day was in here really impressed with how good it looks and thought, easy, we could sell it for $15,000, maybe $18,000. Well, that's equity. That's value for the ministry. If we need to go refinance the farm, which we do, we're 3 years into a 5-year balloon, 5-year note with a balloon at the end. And, if we take 10 mobile homes and take it from $1,000 to $10,000 each, that's $100,000 of collateral to help refinance the farm or sell if we had to or whatever. So that's the good news. Anyway, I want to share with you how thankful I am, how thankful Cindy and I are to have our own place. It's still community. We're still, we have 5 trailers occupied, and we've got 5 more, and we could haul trailers here and place them for other families if we needed to. So there's a real growing, especially once we get here and stuff, of like, hey, I put on a pot of chili, y'all come, kind of thing here. And the farm's just 4 blocks away, so we can, it's easy for us to go back and forth. It'll probably save $1,000 a month in gas. On this big Navigator, we drive people around, 7-passenger old 1998 Navigator that got donated last year. We just got a Ford Escort wagon donated. God bless you. You know who you are. But it needs some work. Some welding on a strut tower. But it'll get a lot better mileage, and then Cindy can drive people around in that, and we can use the Navigator for hauling the horse trailer and the big stuff. Anyway, I'll get you a tour of the mobile home park and show you the different trailers and stuff when we can, but I really felt like it was wisdom to not announce all of this until the last of us were moved over here, because I don't know what the neighbors might do to try to block it or mess with it or whatever. There's no reason for them to be afraid of us, but they are, and whatever. They're fighting everything we try to do. So now that we got approved, now that Cindy and I are occupying this one, we all we have to do is empty all of the last stuff of ours out of Liberty. And then the garage, which I'm dreading. Everybody, I mean not everybody, but over the course of 10 years in those mobile homes, people would leave not knowing if they were going to come back, and leave sweaters and shoes and a box full of stuff, and would put their name on it and put it in the garage. Well, dozens and dozens of people have boxes of junk in the garage that now we have to figure out what to do with, and some of it's been sitting for, a decade. And, who knows what, spiders and cockroaches and bugs and what in the garage, I don't know. Anyway, so we got to go through all that and decide what's trash, which is probably most of it, and what can be donated or what's still needed or what's out there, whatever. But anyway, I want to share with you how God has a backup plan. And even if it doesn't go the way you think it's going to go, if it's His will, He's going to make a way. And I think in Acts chapter 4, the apostles are talking to the Sadducees and the Pharisees, and they say, stop talking about Jesus. They're like, no, we're not. Gamaliel says, guys, if this is the Lord, you're going to be fighting against God. And if it's not, it's going to fizzle anyway. So don't worry about it. That should have convinced them to just let him go, but it didn't. They threw him in jail. So there's a big earthquake, and an angel breaks him out in the middle of the night. And you look at it and you go, oh, shoot, we're going to jail. And the Lord's like, no, I got to back up. There's another plan. Let's go. Come on. And he did that here. And so this deal fell apart in 2016. And then all of a sudden it's back on in 2017. We get the same trailers it offered before and twice as many. And we're moving through them. He's real pleased with us. We're helping the park. We're friends now. It's good. Good relations. They know we're good neighbors. They know that our folks aren't drinking and drugging and bringing bad elements into the park. And it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Good friendships. Good relationships building. And now we just got to pay for it. We pay lot rent, which is $260 a month plus utilities. But overall, it's half what we were paying for the same number of people to be housed in the townhouses, where we were paying $900 a month plus utilities per townhouse. And so that's cutting our costs a lot. We're trying to refinance the farm, get that out from under the lease contract deal, which would cut our payments there in almost half. And then we have the collateral that we're building as we go through these mobile homes and rebuild them and put them back together and stuff. I think this will get loaded tonight if the battery holds out. I'm doing internet on my phone because we don't have Wi-Fi out here yet, or if we are, I don't know. Anyway, August 15th is my birthday, and I'll be 51. In case you think I'm way older than that, I'm really not. But this is a good birthday present. We haven't spent the night here yet. We probably will tomorrow night. And as we get more and more of our stuff moved over here, hopefully by the end of the week, we'll be mostly all moved in. And Cindy didn't really want to show you the place until we get, things on the wall and drapes and whatever. But it's pretty cool. It turned out really well, really nice. And it's a real blessing for us. It's the first time in a decade or more that I'm not sharing a room with other guys or having people walk over the top of my head at night when I'm sleeping and grinding coffee at 6 in the morning in the kitchen right above our bed or something. But just for Cindy and I to have our own place. We like living in a community. We like sharing a house. But to be able to get up in your underwear and make some eggs in the morning or something is a treat. I don't know how long it'll last either. I don't know that we're supposed to be here forever. I felt like we were preparing it for other people, and even our time here was going to be limited. But God bless you to all of those that gave, all those that helped, whether you knew that this was what it was doing or not. We're continuing to work on the other mobile homes. If you have skills, drywall, paint, contracting, carpenter stuff, and you want to come for a week and just contribute some of your labor, would love to house you and put you to work on something. Plumbers, electricians. If you are an auto mechanic, we could really use some of that. We got lots of stuff that needs stuff that's over the head of the average volunteer around here. Anyway, I want to appreciate all those that gave. If you'd like to help, pay this forward. We don't charge for the conferences. We don't charge for phone calls and deliverance and prayer, and we don't charge for anything. But if we were a blessing to you and we've helped, help us do it for more people. Help us get more of the message out there to more people. We promised to be good stewards of it. We took this mobile home that was free and turn it into a $15,000 equity value for the ministry that we can collateralize, that we can use for other things. I think we've operated, between $100,000 and $150,000 a year for 10 years and housed 50, 60 people at a time, fed thousands. Overall, we've given away over 5 million pounds of food. Now we got the farm and gone to retirement homes and all kinds of stuff that we've done. Ran a free store, ran a thrift store for a while. Never made money, just helped, gave stuff to whoever asked. And dollar for dollar, I'd stack us up against anybody anywhere. I mean, we've been really efficient with the money, and nobody draws a salary. I got one pair of tennis shoes, a pair of boots, and a pair of dress shoes, and some flip-flops, and some aqua shoes for baptisms. That's it. I can't imagine me ever having 10 pairs of shoes. I don't think in my life I've had 10 pairs of shoes at the same time. That's just not the way I'm wired. And so I know when the Lord says, hey, I need to give $1 million to somebody who can be trusted, well, I hate it. I hate the money. I get rid of it as fast as I can, use it to bless as many people as I can, and so He knows I'm a good steward, because I don't want it, I don't like it, anyway. We'll do another video showing you the mobile homes, and I'll try and do a before and after video on this one once we get there. It's still got sawdust and tools, and we got permission to move in, even though it was messy, because all the important stuff worked. But we're still getting cleaned up and getting settled, getting things on the wall and curtains and touch-up paint and here and there and whatever. But here pretty soon as Cindy says it's okay, we'll do a walkthrough with the before and after, kind of show you. Anyway, I want you to rejoice with me. That's what I'm telling you. I want you to rejoice with me for what the Lord has done. If we can't be on the farm, this is as close as we could get. And it was a gift. And we worked hard. We did stuff to make it work. But what a blessing. And we're learning all kinds of stuff. The guys that couldn't work a saw are learning to work a saw and a hammer and how to do stuff. And we're going to have to build more stuff on the farm. We get the septic in, then we can have a retreat center. Then we're going to need to build cabins or remodel the parts of the cave or whatever. And these are all skills that they're all learning that's valuable. And you guys that are so generous and give to help, and so that we can be here. I'm furious about Dominic and his 2 kids. That he has a YouTube ministry. It's not real big. It's not got a big reach, but called for some place. I'm going to be on the street. I got 2 kids. One of them's got autism. No church was going to help. We got to get him on a bus and bring him like 600 miles away for somebody that can hear the Lord say, this guy is important to the kingdom. This is one of my kids. Don't turn him away. Why? How many Christians between here and Tennessee have extra bedrooms? Why is it so hard? Why aren't churches answering? Why do pastors call me and say, hey, I got this kid, just showed up at the church, he's a mess, can you take him? I'm like, why don't you take him? Your kids are in college, you got extra bedrooms. Oh, he might smoke in the house or get in the medicine cabinet. Well, I'll take him if you want to support. It's $200 a month. You want to do that? Oh, no, we don't have budget for that. Well, why not? How much you paying the pastor? Anyway, it's just sickening, the state of the church. It's a whole other video. But I want you just to rejoice with us. we've been working on this for a year. There's lots more to go. I don't know what's going to happen. This little mobile home park is getting more and more Jesus all the time. And he's moving in new trailers that are for sale. People could come live here. You know, he's got several that are like $10,000 or less, and he'll do payments, and you'd own the trailer and live here in the mobile home park with us. Find a trailer on Craigslist and move it in here. Whatever. There's all kinds of options. There's probably half the park is not occupied. There's empty lots waiting for a trailer. And it's quiet, and there's trees, and it's beautiful, and it's walking distance to Walmart and everything on the highway, and it's just a real blessing. Just a real blessing. I'm excited about what God's doing with the farm, but we need some breakthrough. We need the videos to get out more. We need something. I've been so busy with this the last 6 months. It's hard to get calls answered. I'm sorry. I really am. It's hard to get emails answered. You know, it's hard to promote the stuff that needs to be promoted, like the petting zoo and the stuff that we grow on farm that we could be selling that we're not, because I can't. It takes me to go find, you know, who wants quail eggs, who wants rabbits, who wants rabbit jerky, who wants the stuff that we're producing right now. We didn't even get a garden in. There wasn't anybody to handle that because the livestock kept us busy. And there wasn't time to put a fence up to keep the rabbits out of the garden like last year. They ate everything we tried to grow, pretty much. So there's just so much to do and opportunities and anyway. If God's calling you to be a part of this, let's talk. Email me or phone. The contact information is on the website. I'll put it in the description. If you can support your own trailer, and you know, there's some right now he's got ready to move into, or going to be ready to move into, and if you want to pray for us, we need all the prayer we can get. If you want to support us financially, you can PayPal to FOTM@fellowshipwithmartyrs.com. You can go to the website, fellowshipwithmartyrs.com, hit the little piggy bank. You can give there on a credit card without PayPal. I think you can do e-checks. You can mail to the mailing address that's on our website. We really could use the help. There's still a lot to do. And we want this to be a place where people can, you know, there was a prophecy way back in the very beginning about this, that we were like an Air Force landing base, that planes would fly in all shot up, out of gas, pilots wounded, and we'd patch them all up and fill their tanks, get their cups full, and off they'd go again, back to the battle. And we have several street preachers and missionary types that are out there doing the hard work of the Lord, and every once in a while they just need a hug, you know, and they come in here for a weekend and get refreshed, and we get to pray for them and love on them and take them to dinner, and out they go again, you know. And we got people we've sent all over the world, in Jerusalem and Africa and all over Europe, as missionaries that we blessed and prayed for and regularly pray for and send them out and pushing back the darkness wherever they are. And we love you all. You know who you are. Anyway, God's doing a thing here. This last Sunday we circled the county in cars, one car this time, sometimes 2-3 cars. But we jammed 7 people in the Navigator and circled the county. That was the 4th circuit around the county on a Sunday since the 9th of Av, when the Lord asked us to do it. He said 7 Sundays, I want you to circle the county. Way back in 2005, it was right after the 9th of Av, he had a Circle Liberty school district 7 times on 7 Sundays. And the last one was on October 31st, on Halloween. And Liberty got a lampstand, got a candlestick, and fire started burning, and people started coming, and beautiful things started happening. And I didn't get any promise from him on what would happen then or now. I didn't know what. He just said 7 Sundays circle the city limits, the school district, not the city limits. And on the 9th of Av, Saturday, we were having a conference, and he says, are you guys willing to circle the county 7 Sundays? And we said, yeah. It takes about 2.5 hours. 20, $30 of gas and $20 of Slurpees. And it's been a lot of warfare. A lot of warfare. Anyway, I want to talk about that on another video. I didn't mean for this to be so long. God bless you guys. Thank you so much. Rejoice with us. And I hope some of you can come to the conference this August or September, whenever, and we'll show you around and see the place and see what God's doing. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So thanks, Lord. We really appreciate it. It's a beautiful thing. And thanks for letting Cindy and I have our own place for a while. And our own kitchen and our own bathroom and an office where I can set everything up instead of just right next to the bed. We bless you, Lord. I thank you, and I ask that all the people that contributed, all the people that were part of it, and all the people that prayed, all of them, that you would just bless them abundantly, Lord, in the name of Jesus. Thank you so much. Amen. Love you guys.